Well, welcome everyone to session 9.
Yes.
That's weird to say. But session 9 of Animaesus and Tarask's the land of Animaesus, whatever you want to call it. Last session I titled "Taking Care of Yourself?" Question mark. The days before blood and festival. We started last session with Cotton outside the house of Federo, the alchemist of the fifth house, on happenstance, the fifth day of light. He had already been engaged inside, Cotton soon finds out, with Drow, conversing about some job related to a necromantic gain for the Drow from the 12th house. The interaction involved Cotton trying to bypass the drow, and then a door opened soon thereafter, kind of interrupting with the Soquamata being accompanied by a higher level, quote unquote, for lack of a better way to put it, female drow of the 12th house. She comes out first and sees Cotton and says in their native tongue something that disperses the rest of the drow and Canis that were her entourage with her, and kind of leave the house. The Squamata Federo, the kind of lizard folk dragon man sort of mix that he is, uh, looks crocodilian in nature, and after they leave, asks Cotton to sit, and they engage in a brief discussion where he asks Cotton to not speak of what she saw here with the 12th house and the drow. And in payment, Cotton will be given knowledge. Well, that's what she basically asked for. He asked what she would want, implying that he has access to different contacts and resources. And she asked to see his library, and then he agreed, and with a couple keen persuasion checks, we're able to convince him to return at a later date within a week or so, and he will have more books for you to read. You borrowed one of his and returned home, and then we kind of sped forth time as happened the week before, as you guys spent a week of carousing and kind of gaining contacts throughout the city to learn of where Lady Angeles may be, who has returned to the city. Why she's returned to the city is more or less out of vengeance towards the 12th house. They subverted her and used her charisma and connections and knowledge within and of the city to have her stabilize the tailstones and part of the city more or less to sway to their control. And that's she was you doing that initially to help the lower class people of that area, the tailstones being the worst of the worst. And now it's turned into something more dark than she would have expected. And it's not something the rest of the city, I think, yet sees. And something she's definitely worried about, but something that if you guys in that week would have started to see glimpses of, like, the desperation and how much that part of the city really needs the blood festival. They're they're starving. They don't have anything to trade. Uh, so the we reconvened last week after that week of carousing on the 14th of the month, and Cotton is returning in the middle of a chase after Altipar of the 10th house, the second in command of that house of secrets, the keeper of secrets himself. Uh, the party is, especially Stryke, covered in blood. Eros is sending messages to various people of warning and of political nature to binder lords and friends and whatnot. And Birdman and Stryke kind of in the middle, and at the same time of that, we played around a little bit with time at that point, but gave chase after Altapar, eventually lost him within the crowds because of his magic. After killing a couple of his goons, you two agreed to return home to Cotton and Eros, and then once the group was back together, Jim was cleaning up the remains of Altapar's thugs, trading with Terry some of the body parts, and Eros is comforting Cotton. They had a poignant conversation, I think, last week about companionship and friendship and loyalty and sanity, I think, in a way, too, from what I remember. And in the middle of that, Telearia kind of returns to the city uh, as you're wrapping up that, and Jim leaving, and Terry taking the body, and the Badger and Birdman returning after the chase. You four and Telearia, you lead her back to your apartment and kind of debrief about what has happened with your week of carousing and making these contacts and trying to figure out where Lady Angeles is. In general, you focus on retelling Altapar, but Cotton also brings to light the fifth house working with the 12th house for necromantic means, giving them the access that they need to do the things they're doing, more or less. Confirming for yourselves in Telearia the web of debauchery and debasement that is the city. The conversation comforts Telearia in a way, but it also forces her to make an abrupt decision, and she asks you all in a somewhat very decisive, not necessarily desperate, but definitely like, hey, this is the ultimatum kind of way. Will you help me kill the Binder Lords and get the 13 words of power for the beast? And you all more or less say that's a little much, I think, was the general gist of last week. And Talaria doesn't feel offended by that by any means. She understands the enormity of what she's asking you to do. She herself cannot do it by herself. And she tells you that the only place she knows of where maybe she could find someone strong enough, a hero is what she's looking for, I guess, as she said that word, is she's going to head to the lands of the south, away from where the city has control. uh Makes the implication being perhaps away from this continent, like past the Dwarven Mountains to the south, um away from this area to like find someone else that isn't corrupted by what the city is. You all go to bed, um rather solemnly, and the next day, the 15th of the month, the second macabre of the year 697, it's the day kind of the week, the group goes to work, more or less. It's another, you have searching to do, money to make, engagements to confirm. Stryke works with the sixth house and makes a decent amount of cash for the god butchers, and as well as earning renown with them. Eros engages with meetings with the 12th house, and gets a new outfit in the process to prepare for that. Then she has a date night, more or less, she arranges with Wendy and Roxana for later tonight. With Birdman and Cotton joining, as best as I remember. Birdman spent his day searching for Lady Angeli's Aldabar by using his contacts he's made over throughout the week. He finds that his connection with the ninth house leads him to some god butchers that have worked with Lady Altapar in the past. And presumptions are they're probably helping her now because the god butchers do not like the other faction, the Marrow Miners, which are the 12th house. They're just the 12th house's version of the god butchers, and god butchers are independent kind of faction away from all the 13th houses that do the dirty deed of maintaining and harvesting the Trask. And their competition now with the 12th house has been ruthless over the last 12 years. The Cotton also dresses up early in the morning and puts on a disguise, for lack of a better way to put it, and through some fashion tips and costumes from Eros, as well as their own performance and stealthy moves, was able to come away with a necklace, if I remember, that was worth a
Mm-hmm.
decent chunk of change. Uh, and then we're going to start this session with you guys. You communicated through the various message stones around town and or letters or whatnot, or however leaving little notes in the apartment and whatnot, that you have these engagements later on. Eros, the map we're currently on now is or you guys in the bottom left out there are with Roxana outside Matilda's establishment um in the 13th house district for Eros's kind of meeting with Wendy. Wendy said that they would meet you all here, and Roxana kind of met you outside Rexani's and then kind of walked down the couple blocks to get to this point with you all. It is it's early, but it's still very loud and raucous inside. With this place's kind of location, it is near the eastern gates of the Beast Ground, so it gets lots of traffic from different houses, especially the 12th house and the 10th house. But you can already see colors and tabards and badges and whatnot of various other houses here. The one that is seen least in this district is the first house by far and wide, and like the first three houses by far and wide. But the third house doesn't like to share their emblem very often. Um, being led by mostly Coleoptid. They try to keep quiet in general. Enjoy the quiet party, being invited to the party and being the life of the party, but don't enjoy bad reputation stuff. So whatever they do, they're very minimal with how they present themselves. Nonetheless, we will pick up outside of here, and we're gonna kind of do a split screen sort of story thing. As this is as the sun's going down, like it's still daylight. I still have, the daylight on for the dynamic lighting and whatnot. So, it's like in the next hour or so, like as the scene's going through, the sun's going down, and we'll split to Stryke, who's hiking, tunneling through the earth at various points to meet up with Gormunger, your Vulpin friend. For we had a request to meet with him, and the since Birdman's not here, yeah, since you guys are all here, so and then we're going to third split screen with the children as you guys are like away from them with something that will um help me kind of tell the story, I guess, of what's going on in the city here. Um, so to begin with, you all stroll up, Birdman and Eros at the lead, Cotton and Roxana
I I should
behind.
mention that I don't mind them like already being here, um, but I just wanted to put the reminder that Eros wasn't exactly telling them that they had to be here. So like if Khan still wants to, be at Matilda's, that's fine though. But Eros is just telling them like, hey, I'm going to be here. Come if you want or don't. I don't care. Just to
So
clarify some things.
I had a note that was like Birdman and Cotton were going with you, so
It's fine. I don't mind either way.
but nonetheless, you guys, yeah, of course, you guys can do what you. Um,
Ugh.
question raised. Answer. What do you want to do, Lucy?
Oh, I thought you heard me. It's fine that Cotton came along. I think it would make sense. Since she's still waiting on her contact, I think it was Hunterman to arrange the sale for the necklace. She has some time to go do something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why not hang out with Aerith?
Alrighty, makes sense then. Makes sense then. So, the door is usually always open at Matilda's. You can see scantily clad servers and entertainers walking about. You can hear music being played by three different sources from inside, and this an obvious band of bards is together. And there's some whimpering and scruffing sounds. There's some animals inside you hear. And then from a muffled sound from another room, you hear a bark. Uh, doesn't sound like, something you would hear from an Animaesus, like an actual like creature. And then Sylvan is being spoken, Kanan is being spoken. Common, of course, is being spoken by most people in the room. You hear Mustellan here and there, a couple squeaks of the Putori language, Dwarvish as well. Good amalgamation of people. And then arrows with your passive perception, you can there's a second story, which is what this technically is over on your guys' right. Is above you. And there's obviously not quite as many people. It's more like the private area where the girls take people when they're ready to pay for those services. Well, girls and guys, I guess I should say. The entertainers. And the but there's obviously it's like a private VIP area. Eros knows you probably performed up there before. It's more or less about the same size as this first floor, just more tables and stuff, and it's pretty quiet. And then up north of it, there's five small rooms that the prostitutes use throughout the day for and one larger room for like, if someone's like really wants to pay a lot of money for their services. This room right here, Eros knows, and you can see in the window right here, you guys see a green skinned, pretty decently sized squamata. An orc just appeared out of nowhere.
I just pulled a joke in because I want to see, but I can't see with it.
There you go. Yeah, there's an orc in there. There's a couple entertainers. And then Birdman would say he knows this guy.
Hmm.
And Stryke's not here. He was the only one there. The rest of you probably don't know that guy. But Birdman says he knows that guy. So he's in there. And his back is turned to your guys' window. So is the squamata, and they're looking towards where Eros knows the main hearth slash fireplaces that multiple rooms connect to throughout the building. The bar is on this main floor here, and it sounds like it's pretty packed. Like you guys are gonna we're not in combat, but if a combat breaks out, difficult terrain because there's a lot of people in there. So what do you guys do?
Are you inviting us to perform combat services?
I prepare for all outcomes.
Well,
last Sunday, I prepared it was like they were just I don't know. They were going to this tavern and their barbarian, who's Hayden, just punches someone across the face out of nowhere, like literally out of fucking nowhere. And then a brawl breaks out, and I'm just like, well, all right. Then the rest of the party wasn't really there, so I was like, well, who do you guys want to play as the NPCs?
So this is happening now?
Okay, so before they... I gotta get my head in the fucking game right now. Fucking loose. Like, goose is
and
way
if
too
you
loose.
see tokens that I've used before, hey, here you go.
Yeah, whatever.
Uh,
I ain't concerned of it. Gotta get my goose on loose. Goose is way too loose. Gotta tighten up my goose. So
what kind of music does Eros play?
Eros plays generally kind of this. I want to say she's a medieval jazz fusion type.
Okay, you hear folk music inside,
Hmm.
and it doesn't always that doesn't I don't know. You feel with the rambunctiousness of the crowd, it's really not fitting. But that is something you do notice in the intent, and for those things.
She's kind of used to all sorts of folk music though with her travels from the past. So yeah, okay, maybe.
It took me I can't wait to show you some of these tokens, because some of these took me fucking forever to find.
So Eros,
Some Animaesus, there's not many of them drawn. Okay, so what do you do?
Eros, she, before they even go inside, she turns to everyone and says, "Okay, here's the rules. Anything could happen, and don't be upset if it does."
Roxana just cracks her knuckles and rolls her shoulders and rolls her head around her shoulders to loosen up. All right. I don't know if I'm ready for this, but let's do it. And she takes a step forward.
Nah, hold your
Well-
horses here. I have to
Put your
introduce you.
arm.
I have to introduce you to Matilda first before you start pestering anyone and making money, because I can see that you're probably going to do that.
Well, isn't that why we're here?
I'm here to relax. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but
if you're here to make
Oh.
money, you gotta know who it is in charge.
Oh, is she as bad as Rexani is?
Hmm.
Birdman goes 90%.
She's nice once you get to know her. What was that, Cotton? You were saying something.
Well, I think if I'm just here to have fun, like, and if it's not fun, I'm just going to leave. So whatever.
Oh, we can always make it fun. There's a nice
I
drinking
love
game
that.
here where every single time you see someone gawking at you, you take a shot. And you just keep going until you pass out fucking shit-faced.
I mean, that doesn't seem very safe to me, but if that's fun to you,
Oh, it's not safe at all. It's fucking terrifyingly dangerous.
Sounds like a
well,
fun game.
we can try, I guess.
Well, dangerous can be fun in some ways.
Great. Then let's go inside.
And Eros makes like the door is already open, but she like pushes the door even more, so like it bangs onto the wall, and shouts out,
Matilda, I have returned with friends.
And the awkward music breaks. The crowd kind of disperses. The tiefling right in front of you recognizes you. Oh my goodness, Matilda, it's Eros. Eros has returned, and she like does this courteous bow and grabs your hand and leads you through this triplet of buzzing beetle folk, the coleoptid that are common in this city, who are also usually bards of some sort. They kind of interrupt their song, and there's a huff and puff definitely from them as they are perturbed from this. But leads you to the bar and kind of shoos away these Patori in a way, like someone shoos any sort of vermin to get them out of their seat, and they almost hiss at her. Uh, and Matilda is behind the bar with the two bartender twins, it looks like, who are servicing the crowd, scantily clad, just as the rest of them are, and Matilda does an acrobatic kind of tumble over with claps and cheers over the bar to land and yet again buzz and disturb the coleoptids, who become yet again angry by their disruption of their song. And in a courtier fashion, bows and gives you the French kiss on the cheek kind of hug situation very quickly. And yet again unfurls her arms for you, and everyone, we are in such a treat for tonight. Eros, you must grace us with one song, please. And she turns to you and like bows almost again and like kisses your hand and releases your hand and is still kind of bowed with her eyes wide open just expectantly, and the crowd is hushed and murmured, and then you look around and you can see Wendy in the crowd just smiling at you.
Well, kind of just upstaged me a little bit by jumping over the bar. I was totally going to do that first.
Well, I have to do it at least once every evening. Can't everyone let everyone know? She smirks and fake
Hmm.
blushes, it seems.
Well, if you promise me at least one
Matilda.
if you promise me at least one free round for me and my friends, then sure, I'll do a little bit.
One free round, darling. Your face alone in here gets you 3.
Well, looks like I won't be recognizing where I wake up next morning. Okay.
Well, if you want 3 of the best stuff, then that's up to you. You don't have to make yourself completely plastered, but you may. Ooh, she almost goes behind the bar and then turns back and scampers over and um, whistles at the Coleoptids to say, "Hey, play more music," to get people to back so she can talk to you, and pulls you kind of around this table, and she goes into your shoulder and whispers, "You're I normally allow you the big room upstairs, but someone of some import is here tonight. Um I'm not quite sure who they are, but the 12th house is all abuzz, an entourage to be sure. And when they came in through the door, shades followed them and led them through, as if we couldn't view this creature, this person, if they even are. Presumably some drow, some
That
beautifully
that sounds
awesome patron.
kind of terrifying. Well, all I need.
They heard something about these places. Not quite sure exactly how that works. But I. And you know she's partially lying because she does have past connections with the 12th house.
Well, it's not that big of a deal. I might need it later, I might not, I don't even know.
Where,
But there's someone.
knowing you, if you really wanted to room, you could probably share her bed. But I'll leave that for you to decide. I haven't seen her face yet.
Speaking of
She
faces,
has requested 2 of our best entertainers, so high taste, to be sure. 300 gold in one night.
speaking of gold and faces, and Eros grabs Rexana's hand and pulls her over.
Ooh, who's this gem? Matilda says, and Roxana just kind of curtsy bows and raises her eyebrow a little bit.
This
And
is
smiles.
my apprentice, Roxana, and she has been working in Rexani's tavern for the past week, and she might want to make a little bit of cash while she's here, so gotta get you two introduced.
Well, if she wants to make the most money, she needs to head upstairs, but I need you to understand, pretty one. Once you do, my hands are clear. That is, I do get a small portion, say 30%. But what you do up there is between you and them, and Rexani, he pays for his own security. I let people go to the devil in their own way.
All bets are off, basically.
Roxana looks slightly uncomfortable at that after her past with Red, as you know. And Roxana looks at Matilda, and Matilda's whited out eyes. Matilda has no iris, no pupil, just white and bloodshot eyes. and takes a while to get used to. Is just kind of staring at that like some sort of recognition, like she's seen a ghost almost, but shakes it off and nods and like, I'll stay down here, I think, for tonight, unless Eros wants some accompaniment upstairs.
Depends on how well this song goes and how plastered I feel like getting.
Sana nods and goes to the bartender to get her first free drink,
Hmm.
and then starts to kind of flirt with one of the guys from the 10th house over here as she waits for her drink.
I'll be ready in, let's just say, 2 minutes. One last thing I need to do. Cotton, come with me. And make my way over to Wendy.
Cotton follows you.
Wendy, as you come over, will lead you guys over to the window. And I'm gonna say a couple of these people start to just like leave as the songs are and they're getting kind of a little bored. You guys go to talk to Wendy. Wendy, once you get over to where there's more room, she embraces you very kindly. Uh, a hug of friendship and warmth, and then does a cat like nose hello that like I can feel that
Like a
fell
head
in.
bump.
Yeah, like depending on how you think close you are with Wendy. Eros has known Wendy for a while. But she is a cougar, for lack of a better way to put it. So
Mhm.
she's slightly larger than you, but you guys come from a very close ancestry. So there is at least like a nose to nose kind of like something hello. And if you guys are super close, then yeah, the head bump kind of rub up to each other that cats do to say hello. And both, your tails like flicking back and forth at the top, as I see my cats do at my parents' house all
Yeah,
the time.
I guess that's
Um,
what they do.
yeah. Probably known each other for at least the last 2 years. Wendy is a busy person. She runs a small company of workers that just kind of do courier kind of stuff around town. She started in one of the houses in the 13th house, kind of working as a entertainer, but she eventually she's kind of more roguelike now than I would say is kind of how I've made her and her NPC stat block. Um, but like charismatic rogue. Um, definitely. And she seeing that these guys kind of have moved, grabs a couple chairs for you guys to come sit by the window, and uh it is I surprised I had time to see you. It is wonderful.
I'm
It is
surprised I even remembered. I'm sorry I haven't stayed in contact very much lately. There's been a lot on my plate too.
well, preparing for the festival and all. I imagine that's at least what I've been distracted by, the demands of the structures and trade between the different houses has been oh,
A lot
but
of deliveries
it's
would need to be made, yeah.
yeah, everything has been settled after tonight though. I just got a couple more barrel shipments to arrange after I'm done with our drinks here, and then we will be ready for the festival. I love and hate this time of year. It is the anticipation from everyone is taxing. She takes a big drink from her. She probably has like elvish wine or something.
Taxing. I know what you mean. Been dealing with way too much of the 10th house, more than I want to. I just need to
They pay well though.
pay well. The fucking. And she kind of leans in a little bit closer. The fucking Keeper of Secrets just tried to kill us.
Her eyes go a little wide. Looks at Cotton to like confirm, is that true?
Cotton nods her head.
Oh. I always have felt humans to be no offense, especially your male counterparts to be a little dim.
Dim?
Evidence to be sure has been found. Oh my goodness. In broad daylight?
Yeah, kind of. So, well, broad. Yeah, sure. Yeah, broad daylight. Why not?
Did the first house witness?
Oh, they witnessed the tail end of it. Landlord's got a good eye on it, though. The whole
well, at least. Oh, that mouse, though. You sure he's not gonna shiest you in some way?
Literally, he got his house blown up. Part of it, as well as other buildings.
He guffaws and takes another big drink and continues to like chuckle.
Terry might screw some people over, but he's not gonna let that rest. At all.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything. In fact, he might aid you if you wanted to get revenge on the Keeper.
Yeah, you think?
I don't want revenge. I just want him to fuck off.
Well,
I mean, revenge can be fun.
Yeah, but
occasionally.
there's planning and setup and dealing with things that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, look, if I really wanted revenge, then I would go up, I would figure out where Carapace is being held, and, go piss in his cornflakes or something. But
Carapace? Who the fuck is Carapace, when they ask?
Oh, right. I haven't told you about cannabis. Okay, so
Okay, cannabis? What?
She just keeps on giving.
So like a week ago, we just got
almost
done.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. We had just got done with a little bit of a mission, and we went to Greendar's tavern to celebrate.
I
And
love his little sparkly green drink.
it is very good. And so this dipshit, Scanajuia was like making this very bad shit music. And so I challenged him to a Bardoff and he lost. I took his fucking loot and then I played the shit out of that tavern. And then he comes back all pissed off and tries to get me killed.
And it was a bard duel. That fucking idiot. What? Another human?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is up with that shit? I don't know. They helped us build this city, to be sure. But I don't understand the things they think they deserve because of their pride. And her eyes flitter to her right, and it forces you both to kind of look over here as well. And roll me a perception check. Eros, you have advantage because you both have advantage because your passive perception is kind of high. And it's also, and well, Cotton has advantage because your ears are thingies.
Yes.
Are catty ears. Nonetheless, they mention in common Altapar's name. They mention the they mention the events from earlier today and before one of that they both kind of switch to another language and chitter and like jump under the table and like go to the bar to their buddies at this point. Matilda's over here at the bar by this point. This guy is back in the kitchen taking his break. This guy's doing his thing. The Coleoptids are like at the same time like gathering up to go talk to Matilda about like waiting to talk to her obviously, but those things all kind of happen simultaneously is my point. But you generally both get the impression these two either know or recognize you from the events earlier with Altapar and have decided to react and group up because of that. You generally have gotten the impression the Putori are a little more conscionable about their actions within the city than Altapar has been. So you're not necessarily worried about them doing something outwardly, but they are going to at least spread gossip about your presence here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
I mean, let them gossip. I want to get drunk. I don't know.
Well,
Like, what's there to say? Some fucking bastard attacked us in the middle of the day. Because like he couldn't just divorce his wife. Like, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, not all human men are bad. My dad's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but like, I don't know if cat men are better though.
I don't know. From what Wendy says, they're kind of cool.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, I've personally never had a moment. But, I mean, okay, fur just gets me off in a different way, though. I really can't lie.
Yeah, but like, a lot of cat men also leave their children and then have even more children. And kind of irresponsible tradition, I suppose, but
You hear a whistle at that point from the right side of the tavern, and a man not yells, but says rather loudly, I guess, in common, fine, be the stubborn little drunk you are, and kind of stomps out of the room. A bunch of the dogs get all excited when he comes out of the room. He looks left and right and says, "We're leaving." And the Canis all jump up kind of sadly. They were enjoying the kind of mime performance kind of that was going on from this guy. And the dwarves and stuff around him as well. And he says, "You stay behind. Tell the lady I will go inform." And he
What the
stops
fuck?
there and just kind of leaves it implied, and then kind of like they just all slowly come out of the room
Whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
like
We
leave the
can't
tavern.
just have all these people leaving.
They're going to miss a show.
And Eros kind of runs to the open doorway.
You're about to miss the best part!
And the dwarves and Canis all look back, and there's obviously a discussion with the two people that seem to be in charge about the show, and like, oh my god, it's Eros. And roll me a persuasion check before we switch to Stryke.
Eros jumps on the table while doing this.
Shit's about to get fucking wild. Maybe.
And this guy obviously blushes when he looks at you, and he's like, "Well, come on, it's Eris. It is. I didn't know she was here. That's because you were inside. You weren't paying attention. You should have asked me before you." They start to like funnel back inside, and Strike. Oh goodness. Has come to the main part of the cave here. And I would like Strike to roll a
Ooh.
perception check.
Oh, wait. I was gone for literally 5 seconds. What's going on?
We literally just jumped to you. So hey, there you go. You have climbed your way through the tunnels of the tortoise and
Mhm.
have come to the main kind of river section that Gormonger can often be found at. That eventually leads to his hidden tree glade that's underground here. And I would like you to roll a perception check. You can tell me what you base it on. Smell, hearing, sight.
Kind of all three. Trying to hear
Mm.
if he's messing about somewhere. I would assume I know his smell, so we smell as well. And my eyes, of course.
I rip out
Okay.
my eyes and throw them forward to see if they see anything.
You do
Literally
not.
keeping an eye on him.
Well, unfortunately, your eyeball gets eaten by a frog. So,
It's okay, I got one more.
Okay. You sniff and you smell he's nearby. Pretty sure. Do not hear him. In fact, you hear basically on the other side of the map, about 100 or so feet, you hear multiple bodies larger than he would be moaning and groaning and like shuffling in water, like gargling and stuff. It sounds like they're chained up together or something. You're not exactly sure.
Oh lord, I'm heading right over there.
And you don't see him. So
I can hear where the noises are coming from, so I'm following the noise.
okay. You get to that point, and I would like you to decide for me, do you roll a stealth check or not?
Yeah, sure. Let's try to be a little stealthy. Why not with inspiration?
Give me the inspiration. Okay. You see a few stones have recently been strategically kind of dumped onto the side into the water to kind of force and funnel these creatures here. And by the smell that's coming from them, and once you get close enough to view one, you're pretty sure they are some sort of undead thing. Human, you're not sure. Dwarf, I don't know. Maybe it's a Poomthera that just like half its face melted off. You're not really sure.
They have been dead for a while, probably.
Yes. You. It's been, more than a week since you've been down here. This wasn't here the last time you were here, of course. What do you do? They obviously are not aware of your presence right now with the rock outcropping you've been able to use.
Yeah, no, keep trying to be stealthy. Sneak past them. Try to. Over this way somewhere.
I would like you to roll. Nope, wrong button. Sorry. I'd like you to roll another perception check.
Nice.
You hear a faint little whisper that comes from the back this way, leading down this little divot, I guess. Faint little whisper of saying, Ragnar, wait.
At you? And I guess I'll wait.
And I'm gonna have him roll another stealth check to see if. Okay. 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 You hear some scratching and hopping, and you can't get a greatest view, but then, coming off in, kind of hiding behind the rocks you were just kind of using. Something kind of climbs up to the top, and
Oh, he's gone.
too many buttons. I'm sorry. Too many buttons. Okay. You see this little dude kind of climb up on top. This picture made me so happy. I don't know.
Oh, he's a little fox Yoda.
His angry face made me so happy though. Kind of climbs up on top and in Sylvan whispers to you, I have trapped them here for a few days, but there are too many of them for me to take by myself without worry of one paralyzing me long enough for the others to get to me and therefore destroy me before I could cast another spell. I believe I have the firepower, and with you, maybe we have the strength to rip these asunder, but at the least,
Going on.
we should warn the city of what is in the depths in this last week. This is not the first of these I have found.
Any idea where they come from?
Shakes his head.
Perhaps it would be best to get rid of them. Something else.
That's it. Okay. Roll initiative.
Where do they come from? That's easy. When a mommy undead and a daddy undead love each other very much.
You're thinking of Dampiers. One of them is not undead.
No, it works out still. You know, you just gotta remove the appendages and place them wherever you want. It's fine. It's fine.
Ah, so like an octopus who just rips a stick off and throws it to people.
Yes.
Yes.
Octopuses. They're fucking weird.
They are.
They're still cool though. All right. Okay, he had to get like a nat 20 anyways. All right. Guy spends his turn just kind of like there and kind of looking around. Strike. You technically have surprise, but you do, if you're not close enough to attack him, you do have to roll another stealth check. The water is difficult terrain, to be sure.
I can
And
just throw javelin first.
that too. Okay.
So let me do that. I'm gonna rage, of course, just in case. And Gormonga just sees Strike's claws rip apart as he goes basically Super Saiyan. He pulls out 2 javelins and throws it at the nearest dude.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Dude, you're
Why?
taking all the crits at the very start of the game, man.
You're gonna break the
What am I
game.
supposed to do? Aaron Jesus has blessed me.
Well, fuck. Our performance is gonna be shit, dude.
Mom said it's my turn on the crit.
Fuck you, man.
That's not how that's supposed to work. Hold on, I need to fix something.
What the fuck? Hmm.
Okay,
That
so
should be
you
a
throw out
6,
the
not
closest
4.
one. Yeah, it should be a 6 on 4. Nonetheless.
Yeah, max damage. I didn't set up the javelin, so
There we go.
let me see. 6. Yeah, 6.
Okay.
That's six.
You throw 2 of your javelins at this thing. They both impale it. They're still inside of him, and he stops moving. The ones closest to him react in a what the fuck is that situation. They will get advantage on their perception checks to see you. Is that, I assume that's your turn, or is that your turn?
I'm climbing up here on the wall to basically get a drop on them when it goes. Up here.
Okie dokie artichoke. Yeah. Okay. This thing is. Ooh, it sees you. 10, 15,
I was
20,
even
25, 30.
I was thinking of Shrike doing like being at the Olympics and doing a javelin toss.
Be great.
That's unfair.
We need to do this.
That's unfair. That's unfair. That's unfair.
Oh!
Okay. You are a badger man.
Wow.
10, 20, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20. This guy just follows the guy and then like sees you once he gets up there, but 25, 30 runs in front. Haphazardly, chaotically, long leering claws scrape against the ground as it runs at you. This one is 10, 20, 30. Gonna spend its action taking a sniff. Ooh. Oh yeah, it smells something. 10, 5, 10. Okay, but that's all it can do.
Smells the shit.
It's going to get some badger meat.
From your local Walmart. Badger meat.
You know,
I'm scared.
badger meat.
Don't worry, this guy can totally cast a 9th level chain lightning that instantly incinerates every last one of them. Totally not
Well, the
hurting. Sure.
original idea was that he's lower level, but from the way we've described him so far, he sounds pretty fucking high level.
I mean, he can at the very least, create an entire forest underground after a year. So that's pretty strong.
Because he has this. Oh, I whispered to myself.
Whoops.
Because he has this.
See, 3rd level. That's kind of impressive. It's the best Eros can do.
This is the thingy he's going to do. Hiya. Yeah.
Hmm.
That was a low roll. He casts a flaming sphere to erupt on these guys here, and they do the deck saves. One passes and one fails, and they take half as the damage.
And it sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius, and dim light an additional 20.
Yes. So now he's just like, "Come at me, bitches." Was it at the end of their turn? Ends its turn. Nonetheless, whatever. I'll do it now. 4, and then final damage. He is then going to run away.
Ah, yes, the secret technique.
The secret
Passed down the
secret.
Joestar line for generations.
Okay, this guy. Oh my goodness, fire! 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30 in the water. Water. 10, 20, 30, 10, 20. Starts to climb up around the thingy. 30.
The one in the very back is the highest initiative.
Just looks at the water. It's like, climbs up the water, looks at the sphere and kind of stops at the sphere, just kind of distracted by the sphere. Not sure to
So
do it in the
bright.
briefest moment. Strike. These two are the only two that are, well, closest to you that are on ground. The rest of them are technically still in the water. This guy's climbing up. He's almost up.
I'm also climbing up some a little bit higher and tossing out 2 javelins. One of them in the fire.
One of them in the
Nice guy.
fire. They both hit the guy in the fire. One of them should have
Outright
got out
dies.
of the fire,
Oh, now you
but
rolled
he
it.
didn't.
What's
Did the first one kill him or the second one?
Second, he needed both to kill.
Yeah, too bad.
what is with you rolling all these max duplicates? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I made sure it's properly set up, so nothing's faulty here.
Nothing's faulty, but you just keep getting duplicates over and over again.
It's I don't know.
Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
30 climbs up underneath you. Going to. Yeah.
That just about hit.
Aha. Oh, that's not right.
Oh, that's
For nothing.
He deals no damage. Okay. Well, Shrike, just go up to them all and kill them.
It is set up, right? Why isn't it working?
Arn Jesus doesn't want him to die.
All right, double ones. 2 plus 1 plus
Plus
2.
two.
Okay, you take 4, so you take 2. And I need a con save.
All right.
Okay, you're fine. This guy is gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, runs through the fire, just and no, I don't want him to go down there.
He's still
Fucking
taking
mouse.
damage, doesn't he?
Fucking mouse.
No, you gotta end
He
your
climbs
turn,
up
man.
next to you. That's all you can do though. Alright. Goremonger is going to use his bonus action to slam the. You can move it 30 feet, so 5, 10, 15, 20. Comes and slams into the two behind you. Dex saves. They take more of fire damage.
More.
Come on, max damage.
And his action.
Take
he's
70,
going
20. Well, okay.
to,
If you insist. Why is there no D20's worth of damage? Come on, game. Do it.
Regulate.
throws a little flame ball at the one closest to him. And 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 runs at Goremonger and Stupid Sheep. Roll 20. You're being stupid. Fine. You will miss as a bite. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Runs over there. Climbs up to get around you. Try to get around you. Strike. What do you do?
Well, I guess at first I'm gonna. What do I do? I could do the normal thing and just slap the guys next to me. So I guess I'm doing this first. With me claws.
Me clue.
The one right in front of me there. Is that enough to kill him?
Which one?
This one. Sweet. Next attack, this guy. Is he dead yet?
No.
Fuck it. Then I'm drawing my flail, do a flip on this guy, probably take the fall damage as well as the guy on top of Warmonger here. And just smash right into him.
Yeah, you take 1 point of fall damage.
1 point of fall damage.
And you have 1,
Oh gods.
2 claws coming at you for
That's
opportunity
fine.
attacks. The stupid motherfucker.
See, it's fine. They don't
Roll
even do
2d4 plus 2 plus 8. Crit damage and me a con save. Ooh,
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Shit.
you become paralyzed. So the second one turns into an advantage roll. It still hits. I need to roll it because it's being stupid. So that's another plus 2. So it's 3 points of damage, or 7 resistance to 3. So you land and you become paralyzed. Over there. Okay.
They have a built-in sentinel. Kind of, sort of.
Indeed.
How much damage total was that? 16. The fall damage 1.
Well,
Wait, 7?
16 half because you're raging.
Yeah, but then 7, it's 3, 11. Whoa, 12 in total.
Okay. See, you're still fine. Well, that's your turn because I paralyzed you.
Yeah.
10, 20.
And this is the episode where Stryke dies in a cave.
Oh, wait, he has advantage.
That's when I build a necromancer out of spite.
He jumps off too narrowly close to you and misses somehow. 10, 25. Nice square. He's. It's not even rolling with advantage. This thing's like really. This sheet's really fucked up. What the fuck?
It is a sign. These abominations must not be let to live.
I gotta remake this sheet. It's being really weird. Nonetheless, 21 hits. So 7 half to 3. Okay, Goremonger's like, this is why I didn't want to do it by myself. And
I can't move,
Uh,
just looks at him, unmoving.
okay, and
The only thing that can move when you're paralyzed is your eyes, for thematic reasons.
Yes.
he is going to.
Here's an interesting thought. If paralysis makes it to where your body cannot move, does that mean the inner part of your ear also cannot move? Meaning you can't hear anything, and so you're kind of deafened?
I don't know. That's
It's an interesting thought. I mean, if we go by sleep paralysis ideas, then no, you can still hear, but that's more of a muscle thing.
right.
More like your body.
I'm not going this way.
He's gonna slam the guy. Oops. And then at disadvantage. Wow. Oh, he still hits. He shoots the guy in front of him and does a flaming. Ooh. Yeah.
Remember, kids, wrap it up.
Okay. At the other one for 72 damage. I don't know. Okay. Then they will spread the love.
Oh, shit.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and then those two were dead. Now one with advantage to strike. Miss somehow. Your fur is too thick. Strike. You get a save at the end of your turn.
Well,
Oh, you break out of it at the end of your turn.
Woo!
And the some advantage. Missity miss on you. Okay. Cool.
wait, can I still ready an action if I'm paralyzed in case I break out?
Nope.
You can't take any actions.
Oh, too bad.
Sadness indeed. All right.
Time to dip your claws into paralysis juice, infuse them together.
That might be an idea. Zep, let's make it happen.
Okay, he's gonna drop concentration on this thingy. And he's going to instead.
Cast Shatter on all of them.
He doesn't have shadow.
Oh, then Thunderwave.
He doesn't have Thunderwave.
Damn it. Noxious Cloud?
He's gonna do this one. You gotta move this guy back a little bit, but
Noxious Cloud.
5,
That's
10,
definitely a
15,
war crime.
20, 25, 30.
A little bit.
He moves over here and he says he pulls out a piece of some sort of glimmering stone in his hand, and he is I have something big I can do, but get the fuck out of the way. So
Yeah.
he disengaged and ran over there. And then as his interact object thing, he pulls out a little piece of stone for his spell he is going to cast next turn. Hopefully.
Maybe.
The ghoul here is going to make a choice.
It is stupid.
And it stays here. And it attacks Strike. And misses Strike. Okay. This ghoul is also going to make a choice. Ooh, it's smart. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Ah.
Gonna go for that. Will hit.
Yeah.
Points of damage. Okay, and this one is gonna just do the strike thing. Ooh,
That's
you can use your
terrible.
reaction if you want.
Can use my reaction.
If someone critically misses, you can
Oh,
opportunity them.
true. In that case, I'm gonna
Seeing how your turn's next, it's probably worth it. Unless you get a crit one too. So they use their reaction to attack you back.
I was just
And
about
they
to mention a scenario like this.
9 points of damage. And you beat the con save, so 9 minus, so 4. And Strike, what do you do? You got 3 around you. What do you do?
Yeah, I think it's about time to reckless here up in this bitch. Beat the one in front of me, or rather, yeah, the one in front of me. Beat him to death with my fucking flail.
Yeah. Smash. And you smash into his arm, and then the second hit crushes his skull.
And the one next to me, claw. The one on the left.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's reckless. It's fine. Oh wait, I
Wow.
haven't even added rage. I don't have it active, so it's 4 more on every, 2 more on every one of them.
Well, one of them is already
Okay.
dead, so
The second one takes 4
The
more.
I have something big. Oh, they're already dead.
you kill all of them around you.
Wait, then I'm moving up here on the ceiling and do the thing again I did before. Just jump on this guy. Bam! Give me that fall damage.
Now they're 1 point of fall damage.
But I don't end there. It's gonna move out of the way so my body can do it.
I must.
And he just sighs and he looks back. He's like, I should have asked you to come down here sooner. And he puts his piece of stone away as he obviously doesn't need it anymore, and he
What?
at disadvantage.
Oh,
Still hits. Shoots the thing with some fire. And the thing is going to attack him.
+10? What the fuck does he have?
Power.
Stuff and things. Cons. Is good. All right, Strike. What do you do?
What do I do? Rip him apart, of course. Bum, 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 bum.
God, what the fuck?
He
Okay, wait.
is a mushy thing.
I've also got the insignia of close +2 if you're wondering what claw damage.
Okay.
At least you're also taking the critical fails as well, so.
Reckless.
Reckless indeed. All right, so take them out, and the guy just sighs at you, and it's just like, well, fuckity fuck. And we're gonna jump back to the other group real quick. I need to get a drink of water real quick. So one sec. Well, we can, I guess, finish Strike's scene real quick instead of hopping back to you two, and then maybe do a quick wrap up scene with Eros.
Yeah, that sounds fine. This is session 8.5. It's a mini session.
Yeah.
Is yeah, I don't want to do the thing with the kids without
Yeah.
everyone here. That's the real scene that I want for everyone here. There's a couple other things that I was letting you all figure out how you guys would get back together and when that would happen. So, part of that could be solved with Strike here now. So
There's an easy solution to all of this. Eros and the crew get really drunk and find themselves wandering the caves.
I like that.
Well, I Strike. You. What do? You came down here for a purpose. So now that you've helped Gorg with, which is interesting. Yeah, I just realized his nickname is like Horg, but with oh my god. Okay.
Gorg.
Gorg is now that you've helped him slay these undead, he looks a little befuddled, but obviously thankful, and starts to cast some more fire magic to incinerate what's left of the bodies. As he does so, what do you do? I guess.
Probably, first of all, put me back on the map, please.
Oh, that would make sense.
Map.
Alright. And then I ask him, so, what's been happening? Where did this undead come from? I have no recollection of ever seeing.
I've been trying to figure that out, but I've also been trying to remain unseen from both these undead eyes and any unwanted from above. So it has been difficult this last week to ascertain exactly where they come from. But I do get the impression that they are a recent addition to the foundations. And one of them, I found these. Looks like only a couple they forgot. And he pulls out these little, like hypodermic needle things. And Strike, you need to roll me a history check based upon technology. Science. Yeah, that's about what I expected.
Yeah, science.
I think all history.
You know, doctors, quote unquote, use these things to administer various drugs. You think it's weird that he would find it in the corpse of some undead creature. But you don't necessarily know what that means, like, other than maybe experimentation. You know, that idea would come to your mind. I don't know if the Stryke knows the word experimentation, but
He's got average intelligence. He's not your typical barbarian.
but nonetheless, he would, show you those, and I I do not know much about the city. As you know, I've avoided it for many of these years down here. But I do know that they have bonded with the scientists from the East. I do not know what they have done or learned from these things, but perhaps you have a friend from up above that could lend some aid. Someone that understands alchemy, or even my best, maybe a poison master of some sort.
Nothing that would come to mind right off the bat. But I could surely ask around.
You actually know of one person who unfortunately just had to leave. Cotton is a poison master.
Oh, ooh.
So, like, I don't know. He's implying this stuff seems more poisonous, so maybe it's something it doesn't have to be just an alchemist that could figure it out. So-
Stryke does some more thinking and says, actually, do you remember Cotton? The little Wingston?
One who's been sucked up by the city instead of following their ancestors to the heart of Valin.
Yeah, essentially. She would likely know something about this.
That makes me apprehensive, but an answer is better than no answer, I feel. When we are speaking of undead, at the least. Usually the answer is preferred that they are destroyed and gone.
Don't know
Ask Cotton for me, if you would, about these. Take one. He has like a handful. And see what they know. Perhaps we can pinpoint someone to blame. I know the city does have some sort of law, maybe raising undead after what the last near 20 years has been would be heinous enough for something to be done. Necromancy in this city is a little less violent of an offense than other places that you guys know of in the world. But in general, because of what you guys have established as lore in this world with Iconero and Undeath, the last decade plus has been horrible. And it's now kind of sort of stabilizing to a point where they're managing it. So, but like you guys grew up, part of your leveling to get to where you're at is undead that you had to deal with in your travels. So, like, you know that. Yeah. So.
A little funny, don't you think? All these cases of undeath, it has been steadily declining. But yet, it seems to be on the rise once more.
He holds open his hand filled with the needles again as his reference to, like, it must be this.
So I take one of those, and
He gave you one.
yeah, I wrap it up and wrap it up and wrap it up because I really don't want that thing touching me. and put it away.
Okay. You can put a needle in your inventory. Unknown source.
Come on,
Undead needle. Undead needle. There you go.
come on,
Um,
zombie strike, zombie strike.
Maybe.
that would be fucking scary. I don't know. Undead fortitude with your like constitution modifier would be fucking scary. I'm just gonna say
Why don't we
you
just remake Strike as a Reborn if he dies?
would. Oh, I need to. Okay. Okay. So what do you do? This guy's not much of a talker, I would say. He's like, you've asked some questions, so he just continues to go burn bodies to make sure that these undead don't rise up again. And other than
Yeah.
that,
I was coming here for a specific purpose, so asking him, yeah, surely you have heard of the 13 words of power?
he nods and looks at you with worried confusion.
We have been asked by a certain elf to. How do I put this? Get the Binder Lords out of the way, obtain the 13 words, and try to kill the Tarask once and for all. So I
You think
was seeking your advice on if you think that as insane as I'm thinking.
he continues to burn the body, doesn't really look at you as he does. Can you actually do it? Do you think you're strong enough?
I know I'm pretty strong, but I'm not up to that point yet. I don't think.
Well,
Given time, training, and resources, we gain a lot more allies. Strong allies. Maybe there could be a chance. However slight it might be.
the elven vanity has always been their curse upon this world. I.
And their stupidity.
Hmm. Long memories often wane the mind, I think. But I see the city as something that has grown into something unexpected. Life is there. We all see it, smell it, hear it. But is it natural in form? Hell no. The nine hells be damned. They have made this place for their own reckoning. But as even young Althea has taught us, the city still creates innocence. Stuff to be guided perhaps to a better future.
That is what I'm hoping for as well. One thing is
What?
for certain.
The Binder Lords are. Most are not going to ingratiate a young druid of elven race that can exist for centuries to torment the lands, eventually being maybe someone of great power to do what your elf really demands.
Stryke raises an eyebrow and asks, "Are you insinuating we should groom our fear to become a tyrant?"
No. I'm just saying that maybe this how the city will see her. If we're not careful with how she's introduced to the city. I don't know if we should go against the 13 lords. They have brought some order to this chaos, but to bring an end to the beast, that would be
Quite the task.
I am willing to aid if you think this is something the future needs. But I worry for these that have preached the ending of the beast. They may make steps that will stop, crush, and then what's left ain't. Those that follow behind. That is what happened 200 years ago, by my best understanding. Maybe at a similar precipice. Tell your elf friend to be patient, is what I say. The lords have a way of working their own demise into their plans unwittingly. Perhaps we will see an opportune moment rather than to create one. But Anton is not one to be trifled with. Neither is his brother Okafor.
Oh,
I know
I've
that
had the
much.
displeasure of meeting him. He
Orca-
was asking questions.
Wizards often do at the spirits of this world, so they may take what does not but has not been rightfully given. Their difference in magic has upset the balance for centuries. But they bring order to a chaos they themselves created now at this point. Hence, I pictured your question as a stone on a mountain being shifted and falling, and then an avalanche begins. If we move on the 13th Lords, it will create other consequences we don't see yet. Or maybe do see, but don't realize that we should be paying attention. I have lived long enough on this world to see enough of that. So, yes, patience is what I say. And you get the impression he's very unsure. He's just saying what he thinks would be the most comforting.
The way I see it, no matter what we do, if we do anything, be it that the beast awakens, goes on a rampage. I mean, it is the Tarask. It is commonly known as a organic threat. Or if we somehow manage to kill it, it would still cause quite the outrage. And either outcome would result in the deaths of many, many innocent people. I do not want it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Um,
He just kind of nods at that. He's just becoming very reflective, and looks to the water and the bodies and starts to cast other spells to kind of start to purify things and make this place untainted from the undead. And he, I don't know, he'll eventually probably excuse himself to go leave the caves, you get the impression, and kind of go get in contact with some of his other druids outside the city. The issue of the elves troubles him. They're not wood elves are not extremely common in this part of the world. So seeing them after this many hundreds of years is, one could say, like, prophetic, I guess, in a way.
Wait, how old is this guy?
He is a druid.
He's old.
That could mean anything.
Actually, yeah, exactly. He's a druid.
Born
So he is a decently high level druid. He just is not extremely aggressive, I guess. Like, most of the spells I see him using are things that are more passive. He's kind of like a Radagast sort of character, you know. But he still could hold his own in a fight if he really wanted to.
He's this bumbling guy, unless he's pissed.
Yeah. So, but being surrounded by that many ghouls, he would have been paralyzed at least once, and then they would have owned him, taken him out. So, he didn't, unless he could get off an AoE spell at the beginning, which enough to kill them. I don't know, unlikely. Unless he rolled really well. So, Strike, what do you do?
I guess eventually I just go back. And if I see any more undead on the way, probably take care of them. What the fuck is Adira doing here?
She's there so I can see the map.
Oh, okay.
Dark vision. Okay, makes sense. All right.
I've come to slay you, Stryke.
It would
yet?
take you, I would say, upwards of more than an hour to get back. Like, travel in total, there and back, probably an hour of tunnel time, and then another 20 minutes of just like city traversing through the city. Where do you go once you're in the city?
Where do I go once I'm in the city? I'm joining up with arrows.
Did
Like Matilda.
Eros never said that? Eros never gave that information to you, so
Oh,
we could say
Technically.
Cotton or Birdman.
We could say Cotton left you a note at the apartment.
oh well, that works then.
So
obviously
eventually
the same.
you'll just be late. You'll be fashionably late to the celebrations.
Fashionably.
Probably make
So-
sure to clean up a little first. That would be smart. I've been going through tunnels in general and slaying some zombies.
Okay, so Strike, you can bring your character in the narrative when you think it makes sense. On this map. Now that we're sort of coming all back together, I guess. And then Eros, we left off with Eros gathering the attention of the 12th house kind of people that were here, who were leaving with this one guy that got upset with someone he called the drunk in another room. And they all kind of, there's a definite kind of split here. Some of them stay, some of them go. So We'll say this. These people leave, and most of the dwarves and whatnot stay and come back into the tavern and get some more drinks kind of situated. And Birdman takes the seat over here, I'll say. And they kind of impatiently sort of wait for what they've been promised for a week or two. And take up seats again. Kind of take up different seats, kind of spread themselves out a little bit. But mostly kind of go over to that left side over here. The 10,000 people have conglomerated kind of together in this movement, all sort of over here with this other kind of Futori guy. Eros, what do you do?
Eros, standing on top of a table, pulls out her lute, which is unnamed because one need not name their lute, like they must name their penis.
Again?
And she will begin a performance. Oh, finally, it's happened. The music, it sways, the soul, the crowd. It sweeps through the wind, the air. It breathes. Eros. Rhythms. It moves like water, crashing onto the waves, the rocks, the eroticness. Eros ends. Nudity. I also want to say the song is about. I couldn't think of any thing, but I want to say the song is about a dwarf going on a stroll through a gnome village while naked. In the middle of the day, the flowers are nice. The dogs are barking, the children are at play, and the dwarf just continues to walk along to the edge of the town where there's a riverbank, and then he takes a swim and is lost to the world from then on, never to be seen again.
Okay.
I
I love it. The group is cheering, mostly not paying attention to the words, obviously, mostly paying attention to you in general. But they enthralled, enraptured with these things. People grab to dance with you, dance with themselves, each other. Lots of drinks are kind of poured around. Lots of copper and silver, not much gold thrown around to Matilda's, except for the higher ups that are looking for the hanky panky. And then they. How long do you perform for, Bia? Is it just the one song?
Yeah, I want to say this is like a ballad though. So it's not short by any means. Like it goes on for like 10 minutes. It's a story. A story of this naked dwarf that needs to be told. This tale of burnt beef Wellington.
Oh lord.
Okay. I'm writing it down. So I remember that. I'm debating about that. That's going to be the name of the session. Now, the tale of burnt beef Wellington. The dwarves are definitely singing along. As I feel this is part of their heritage, and the rest of the people encourage you to sing the last verse again towards the end as like an encore, and
She would oblige. Yeah, she would definitely oblige. And of course, she has to. She's also going to hop onto this counter to do the last verse again, while also chugging a tankard of ale as well.
we can say Strike. You see Strike come in the room during the last verse and starts to, sit, move in amongst the dwarves and others to find Birdman and Cotton and Wendy across the corner, in the corner of the room. And you finish the song, rousing claps, cheers, asking for one more, but you promised one and one alone. So a couple people start to, basically imply the treasure-like quality of what that means, and that there'll be another one. And towards the end of the song, I didn't mean to do that. Towards the end of the song, and the other Birdman's friend comes out and kind of comes to enjoy the song, being carried by this tiefling lady. And Birdman goes over to kind of say hello and chit chat with him. And Birdman holds up like 10 fingers, 10 fingers, 10 feathers, whatever. So Eris can see that the number 10 and, the points at the ferret guy, and then gives a thumbs up and nods at Eros. Eros, you're able to intuit more or less that this is the head of the 10th house. You're pretty sure who's come here just happenstance and got your message about things, and the people over here seem to be giving him the dirty look from across the room as he came out of the room, and he has the reputation of being drunk, that they just came out of upset by, but both kind of groups get enraptured in your performance. And I think the rest of the night goes by with just people kind of drinking and whatnot, unless we have something more specific you guys want to do. And that will just kind of force me to push things back a little bit.
I do have one idea, but I'm kind of torn between us kind of pausing here and picking back up next time and just rolling a straight up constitution check to see how long it takes until Eros does get shit faced.
I'm in on that.
I'm going to enjoy the imagery of you guys pounding drinks while we do the other thing with the kids. So con says yes. This will give me time to do some things, I guess. Which was interesting.
They're gonna need a lot of drinks.
Drinks. Well, there's been so much drinking in these last two games because we got a City of Sin and then we got Pirates. so much drinking goes on in these last games, the last few weeks. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm enjoying it, but like, I really need to like some consequences to all the drinking. We did that last week with the captain. He drank so much. Like, I didn't even have him roll a con save. He didn't even want. He was just like, no, he just drinks until he blacks out. And I'm like, okay. So I wrote a little story of like what happened to him in the middle of the night, and he almost got eaten by some will-o'-the-wisps, and he got in a fight with a noble, and met a little baby dragon that almost saved him from drowning, but you know, laughed at him for almost drowning along the way. You know, that was fun. So I want to do an inebriated condition or something like that, or just lean into the dwarf trope and make it poisoned, I guess. But there's so many things that are immune to poison that it's just like, I still think that a UNT can get drunk.
Dwarves
They might be immune to poison, but like, just because they're like have advantage on poison saves, I don't think that's the same thing. So, no, technically, when you're drunk, you are poisoning yourself. Technically, that's your body, processing. So I guess it sort of makes sense, but I don't know.
So we like to
Mechanics.
casually put poison into our bodies.
I mean, oxygen is technically poisonous. So
Yeah, it
There's too
just
much
takes a
of it.
really long time to kill you.
Yeah, there's too much of it, I guess. So, well, I like the idea of next week of us doing like some sort of like, maybe we have like the imagery of you guys doing some sort of drinking game where we have like a skill challenge with con checks and con checks and like charisma checks. So like, as you guys do a drinking game throughout the rest of the night, and then have that pair with the thing I had planned for the little kids. And then move into the Festival of Blood finally. I was hoping to get that today, but that's okay.